Okay, so we are here on the final episode of the Late Bell Podcast for the 2022-2023 school year. I have with me Chris, Ruby, Kelly, and Alex. There are other kids that weren't able to be here, and we look forward to seeing them next year because we just missed them at the end of this year. But I was starting off this episode because I wanted to ask the question of what you most enjoyed about the Media Club and or the Late Bell Podcast or the videos that we created this year. And we're just going to kind of go around the table, starting with Chris, who was on our last 3 or 4 episodes, I think, of the podcast. So Chris, what did you like about this year?
I mostly like the clubs here, especially this one. It's a great experience being on a podcast, talking on camera, off camera. It was a big jump because I don't really like being on camera, so that changed. Being around, recording for other clubs, especially the commercial, was fun.
Would you be open to like recording for maybe when you're in high school for other maybe podcasts or videos that the high school has?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to Narosha High School.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to Vestal High School. It's in Binghamton.
Ruby, you were here since the very beginning, and you were on multiple videos. You were the star of some videos. You were on the podcast numerous times, video and audio only. Since you've pretty much done the most of all the people that are here, what did you like about this year?
I like the when we do the podcast. It's really funny, and I also really like the commercial. It was really fun going around clubs, meeting new people, like seeing. I never knew there was an orchestra club or an orchestra band since we made the commercial.
I'm really glad you brought that up because it's actually something that hasn't come out yet for the Media Club. We just started filming bits for a commercial for next year's co-curricular night. Alex, you actually were involved in filming some parts, but between the two of you, you probably filmed all the extra events that we had to do. So that's really cool.
In the commercial, we're just getting like 10 to 15 snippets of each club. No, not each club, but almost every club. And it's like what they do, when they meet, and how to join. And it just gives people an opportunity to see what the clubs are, not just seeing just one advisor, but actually seeing like kids who are in it and kids who know how to do the stuff in the club.
Very good. Kelly, you're next in our what did you like about this club podcast videos part? What did you think of this year?
Well, I pretty much liked all of it. Mostly the people, because I got to know some of you guys, I guess. It was really fun getting to know all of you. I hope I can see you all again next year. And it was like really, really fun. This club was like the one thing in the entire school that brought me joy to this place. So.
Oh, that is so nice, Kelly. I'm so glad to hear that. Anything else?
Well, I did hanging out with all of you guys. I am really grateful for Mr. Silviotti and Mr. Hollis for creating this club because this brought me a lot of fun memories here.
Yes, shout out to Mr. Hollis, who hasn't been on the last few episodes, but he was a huge part of setting this whole thing up and bringing it to life with video and audio all the time. Thank you, Kelly. Alex, you're kind of the last person to ask this question before we move on to something else. What did you like about this year?
I think I like the podcasts the most because it's really just fun, like hanging out with a couple people and some adults in this building and just asking questions, answering questions, and just it's just like it's really a blast because it's like some people have never done podcasts before, like me, and I actually really like doing podcasts a lot. So it's like really whenever I get to do a podcast, I really enjoy it.
Great. So we actually have 3 8th graders right now that we'll get to in a second with a couple of questions about maybe the moving up or transition ceremony or graduation, whatever you want to call it. But Alex, you're in 6th grade, right?
7th.
7th. You're in 7th grade. So you're going to be here next year. So is there anything that you want to do or see us do as a group moving forward?
Like I said, the podcasts, they're really fun. I think those are like, it's really what a lot of people like. But I also like, I'd like if we could like maybe sprinkle in like the commercial or some cool videos that we do, which I haven't been in, but next year I would like to try and get in some more.
Okay, and now I'm going to turn it to Chris to say, we have the moving up ceremony coming up in about a week or in a couple days. Are you excited? Are you nervous? How do you feel about it? I know you just had like a first run through kind of practice type today. So how do you think it's all going to go?
I could just notice from going from my science class to the band room with just a lot of kids around the auditorium.
Yeah, it took us a long time.
Yeah. Speaking of graduation, I know one thing is for sure. My parents, maybe most of my mom, are going to take so many pictures.
Yes, my mother's going to do that too.
What about your parents?
My mom is coming here, hopefully, and my dad hopefully will come if he can make it. I think the ceremony we had, like that practice, was really hot outside.
Way too long.
It felt like burning, even though it's like 63 degrees.
It's in the upper 70s,
It's in like the
low
70s.
Like, my forecast says that it's gonna rain,
Oh God.
and it doesn't seem like rain. We were burning outside. I did not expect it to be that hot.
Alex, do you have any questions for these 3 8th graders about maybe the ceremony or anything that you might be thinking of?
Not really.
Okay, I know this is like completely off topic, but I'm gonna say it anyway. But what do you guys want to be when you grow up, and what do you plan on doing next year?
I think that's actually a great question because for me, I actually don't really know what I want to be. I mean, I kind of have an idea. I like aviation, so maybe an air traffic controller. I also like weather, so I might want to be like a meteorologist on TV or off TV. So it's like those are a couple of my
A weatherman.
Yeah, pretty much. But I'm not really sure.
That's really interesting because my brother is a meteorologist. He went to school for that at Albany, and he's been a weatherman since, 2007?
That's pretty cool.
8? Yeah, it's a very interesting job. He's got the cool job in the family.
You got a pretty cool job.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I wanted to work for NASA
That sounds cool.
Ooh,
or
that's cool.
go to trade school and be a mechanic.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm very into cars, so I think I can,
I like sports cars.
yeah.
What about you, Ruby?
I don't know what I want to grow up to be.
What do you like? Or like what hobbies do you like?
It's like I want to be not those pharmacy people behind the counter.
We call them pharmacists.
I might want to be that. It seems kind of easy.
Well, you have to know like about medicine, kind of. You also need to know like about not well. You need
It's the easiest medical trained person. Like a doctor is harder than a pharmacist.
yeah, I guess. But you also
Yeah,
need
true.
you need to know about medicine. You need to know about like how to teach the people how to use the medicine, and yeah. But yeah,
Well, you just read the labels. Like, Well, you just have to read the instructions and it says
Yeah, but I think you kind of have to give them a little bit of medical advice so they actually know what they're doing besides just saying, oh, you can read the label.
well, I'll just read the label.
You create the labels if you're the pharmacist, and I believe you tell everybody how the medicine works and if it reacts with anything else, among other things.
Yeah.
But I also want to be a vet tech.
A what?
A vet tech.
What's that?
It's like a helper for veterinarians.
That sounds cool. Do you like animals?
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
So I write stories on the daily. So I might become a writer when I grow up.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'll just say to everyone, I knew you if you get famous. I went to middle school with you.
Any last words before we close out or get to the end of our final episode of this school year's podcast?
What are your guys' favorite things about Albert Leonard?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Well, my favorite, probably the clubs, but the library. It's nice, quiet, peaceful, so I can get stuff done in here. But my previous middle school, my favorite thing, I was in 7th grade, and we went to a went on a trip to Washington D.C.
Well, that's cool.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
I was there last summer.
I go there almost every summer.
I have never been to Washington D.C. in my life.
I've been to all the museums.
Dang.
I've been to the White House. I've been to the Capitol.
You went to the White House?
Yeah,
I've been there too.
but if I go back there, there's other stuff that I'd want to do, like maybe going to the Washington Monument or just like other museums. But my favorite thing about being here at Albert Leonard is probably the media club, my friends, and my teachers. Because there's a bunch of teachers that from last year and this year that I really like. What about you, Rory?
I liked my science teacher. He's really cool. Mr.
science?
Pepe. Shout out to Mr. Pepe. He's awesome.
So yeah, Mr. Pepe is retiring this year, so we do give a big shout out to him since he's been here for a long time and he's been a teacher for a long time. What was your best or most favorite thing about your science class, Ruby?
The experiments, but I really liked the systems unit. It's really fun. In the phases of the moon, he made it really fun.
Okay, so Kelly, do you have anything that you want to say since we kind of went around the table?
Well,
Final words?
my favorite thing here, I think we're just having fun, hanging out with my friends.
What's your best memory that you've had with your friends at the school?
I don't know, to be honest. But if I had to pick one, it would probably be in the in the media club and the talent club, because the talent club is where I met Ruby, and we've been talking. We became friends along the way. So
You might also have a really good memory with your friends on your trip this Friday.
yeah, true. We are going to Holiday Hills.
That's right.
I've never been there before. I don't know what it's like. It could be fun. It could be pretty boring.
Almost didn't happen because of the crazy smoke
And wildfires.
Wildfires from Canada caused us. We'll always remember this from this podcast that we almost lost our trips to Holiday Hills and Playland for the 7th graders. Alex, you're going to Playland. Thankfully, the administration and the school rescheduled.
Thank God.
I'm actually very excited for Playland because I've only been there once on the rides, but I've been there other times to see fireworks and other stuff.
I think I went on the Dragon Coaster last year. I think it was
I'm not sure.
fun.
It was a very long time ago when I was there, so I'm not really sure what rides I did go on and which I didn't.
I highly suggest the Dragon Coaster, but if you're not afraid of heights, I suggest you go on the roller coaster.
I love roller coasters. So I think that's what that's what I might do.
Big old dragon coaster. Just big. Really big.
You got something else, Ruby?
See you next year, or maybe not.
Maybe you can come back. You can always come back to visit for you 8th graders. Alex, you'll be back.
How? If we're just gonna walk? How are we gonna walk?
I don't know how, but I'm sure you might be able to come back. Kids come back all the time to middle school, so you never know.
How are we supposed to
I
get a
don't
cab
know.
or something?
I don't know. Yeah, or maybe you come back for a trip from the high school when you come talk to people from middle school. That happens all the time.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah, not a crazy thing for kids to come from the high school back to the middle school to talk to kids or something like that. Career day, things like that.
But how do you get here?
I don't know. That you can figure out next year. But thank you to everybody that was here and everybody that was not here. Yeah. This was
really fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. And it's the last episode of
I'm going to miss all of you.
next year. We will miss you too. Say bye.
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 Bye.